who's going to count us down?
Steven, since
Jeremy.
he's the show leader tonight.
3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do?
You think you could tell us what to wear?
You think that you're better?
You ain't better.
You better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down.
Doing what they told us to do.
That's a Bryce boy. Yeah.
I have no idea what they say.
I want to be so much louder and I can't.
Okay. Welcome to episode 4, The Tempted Topic. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Sean.
And we got quite the show for you guys tonight, don't we?
First of all, we have to address the elephant in the room. We're down a member tonight.
I know, it's sad.
I know.
Meatball Punch is, unfortunately, passed on.
Why was I going to say that too, but decided it wasn't a appropriate joke?
The good Lord took her hand and guided her to the everlasting land of redemption.
To the podcast in the sky.
She's actually just with her boyfriend.
Oh, is she?
I'm assuming.
Well,
She didn't answer. She didn't answer the group chat to open the link. I don't know where she's at.
She's just not here tonight.
I can only assume the worst.
Goodness.
Well, I'm gonna assume that she's just MIA. She's
Yeah, I
fine.
was going to say, you should probably develop a little bit more positive thinking.
Especially these days.
That's what my therapist tells me.
Yeah, he used to tell me that too.
All right, Steven, what are we talking about tonight?
So, on maybe a more positive note, we're talking about It Chapter 1. I mean, we're probably going to have...
On a more positive note, we're going to talk about a clown that kills children.
Shut up. Well, we're probably going to have a little bit of Chapter 2 references here and there also. But we'll have to save that one for a later day. Sean, did you see Chapter 2 yet?
I did. I liked it better.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, it depends on what part we're talking about.
We'll might even delve into the mini series and the book. Who knows?
Well, I tried to read the book. I did not get too far. The book is over 1,000 pages long.
I am on page 500 and something, and I've been on page 500 and something for 2 years.
And although I love Stephen King's stories, he gives a lot of detail on everything that's going on.
I agree.
I don't read.
I think I only tried to read like 3 of his books.
I have troubles reading, because I'll read a paragraph, but then I have to read it 5 more times before I remember it.
You have troubles reading.
Yeah, I have troubles talking, too.
Well, lucky for you, Sean. This episode is sponsored by Audible. No, it's not.
I'm about to say, is it really?
It's not, but that would have been a good segue if we were sponsored by Audible. I was going to suggest audiobooks since you said you have trouble reading.
I could do audiobooks.
Did you get Amazon Prime yet to review it?
Oh goodness.
The highly anticipated review is not this episode.
We're gonna have to push it back one more week, fellas. But there's just been a lot of trouble going on in life lately.
In the world.
In the whole world, correct.
We have not flattened the curve.
No, our curve is way up there.
We turned it into a half pipe.
Especially our state.
Yeah. The one thing I would like to say before we delve into It Chapter 1, we are now on a schedule with the podcast.
Ooh.
So we will be uploading every other Sunday night.
Okay.
So we're recording.
So this will be up Sunday, July 25th, I believe.
Oh, tomorrow. No.
We should try and get a little
No.
ahead in recordings, possibly.
I take that back. This will be up July 26th. But we will delve into what is coming in the next episode at the end of this episode.
Ooh, what's coming? Oh wait, that's at the end of the episode. I got you.
It Chapter 1.
Okay.
Directed by Andy something. Andy Muschietti.
Andy Muschietti.
Muschietti.
I believe that's.
Before the podcast, I looked at like 9 interviews with him in there just so I could hear somebody say his name, and no one said his name.
Yeah, I think I heard his name before. He directed Ma, right?
No,
Mama.
That's
what that movie's called.
Not Ma with Octavia Spencer. It was
Mama, the movie with the ghost mom and the butterflies and stuff.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, he did the short film too?
Oh yeah, he did, because Mama was a short film for
Oh, so he's only done 4 movies.
I want to see him do a remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of my dream projects.
Yeah, he would do good on that.
I also liked whatever the most recent Nightmare on Elm Street was too, which is an unpopular opinion.
The remake?
Yeah.
Man.
Something about new movies.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it, I just didn't like it.
I like when old movies get a new age twist because I find it really hard to watch old movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
All right, so we're gonna float over to
Dairy
Maine.
I see what you did there.
All right, so we're in October 1988.
The classic It scene.
Yeah, we're in October 1988, and I like how this movie opened compared to the mini. We're not going to compare the whole way through, but I like how they open it with this scene.
Yeah.
So we see Georgie building his little boat.
I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to not know the names of all of the kids.
Yeah, me too.
I think I got all their names memorized. I better have
I
names
also
memorized.
found that to be a huge problem in the second movie, and I couldn't match the kids to the adults.
See, I thought they did a good job casting the adults, especially Eddie, because he looked just like the kid, and Stan.
I mean, it made sense when I realized who was who, but like it was so long between watching the first and the second that it was hard.
The one thing that's consistent between the book, the
Shows just
miniseries,
both got released at the same time, or like months apart.
The one thing that's consistent between all 3 versions is that it gets boring once they become adults in all 3 versions. To me, at least.
Bill helps his little bro Georgie build a little paper boat.
No, Georgie's just outside the boats in the water. It's raining. Next thing you know, he falls, and then the boat falls into the sewer.
Yeah, they do this scene a lot better in this one than they did in the miniseries. I think.
Yeah. I wonder if it was actually raining. But the boat falls into the storm drain, and Georgie was about to leave. That's when we find Pennywise in the sewer. And I like this scene because they did the exact detail like in the book, where his eyes were blue at first, and he seemed like he was a nice clown, you know.
Yeah.
I would have trusted him
Just your average nice clown in the sewer.
with blue eyes. Yeah, I would have trusted him. And shout out to Bill Skarsgård for being able to do all those tricks with his eyes.
Did he really do those with his eyes?
Yeah.
He changed the color of his eyes.
He didn't change the color, but the way
Oh,
his
he
eyes
made
were.
like his eye go one way and stuff.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
All that stuff is real. The color's obviously not real, but
Steven's
That's
seen this
awfully
movie
creepy.
95 times.
like
Yeah.
a good 8 or 9. Like I saw it 8 times in the theater. And Pennywise is my favorite, but yeah, his eyes are blue. He seems nice at first, but then once Georgie reaches into the sewer, his eyes change to yellow, and then he bites his arm off and drags him down into the sewer.
What a way to go.
That's not the way I would want to go.
Nah,
Why not?
Is that the way
Is that how you
Meatball
want to
went?
go?
You said, is that what happened to Meatball?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Unless
Maybe
we
she's one of
go to
the
sewers.
missing people in Derry, Maine.
Spoiler alert, this movie is actually a story about us going to the sewers to look for Meatball.
Right after the recording of this podcast.
Oh,
we're
that
gonna
let's
venture to the
let's
sewers.
make it chapter 3, Meatball.
Okay, we jump 8 months later.
Oh yeah, because we go
June.
time jump, and then it is summer vacation. So the main characters are out of school. That's when we meet Richie, Eddie, and Stan. Oh yeah, and then they run into Henry Bowers, Patrick Hockstetter. Yeah, Henry and his gang of bullies. And you know, they're bullying them until that cop, Henry's dad, intervenes. Not intervenes, but he watches from afar. And then we're also introduced to Ben and Beverly, the other 2 members. Don't you say you feel bad for Ben the whole movie?
Ben, the fat kid.
Oh, the fat kid. Yeah.
Everything goes wrong with him.
Yeah, because his stomach literally, his stomach gets slashed in the movie.
Twice.
Yeah. It also gets slashed in the second movie.
Oh yeah, it does.
But he's not a fat kid anymore.
So you don't feel bad for him anymore.
Yeah.
No. And he's the only kid that's sitting alone in the library.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so they're looking. So they leave school. They were looking for Georgie in the sewer. Not in the sewer. Where were they at? The Barrens.
Yeah, the Barons.
So looking for Georgie, then they find the shoe of one of the other missing kids in town. I think by now there's a bunch of missing kids. And it's once one goes missing, the town forgets about the last one.
Yeah, because Pennywise comes around and a bunch of kids go missing whenever he comes around.
Pennywise magic. But while they're looking for the shoe, or they're looking for Georgie and they find the shoe, Ben is at the bridge being cut open by Henry and his group.
And the adults just don't care.
Yeah, those adults that drove by just watched. But there was a balloon in the back seat, so I think they're under some type of...
Well, it's the 80s. So, like, I feel like bullying
was cool back then.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, I don't know if it's like, if they're just trying to say that the adults just don't care about kids because they just go missing so often and like no one does anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has something to do with Pennywise.
It's all left up to interpretation. Yes.
How would you like to view it? But yeah, he's being bullied. Those two bullies in the background look like they didn't want to do it, or they started to feel bad once he like legit started cutting him open.
Yeah. Well, see, don't be a follower.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own person.
Because the one bully that was following Henry got lost in the sewer trying to find Ben after he made his escape, and then Pennywise killed him. So let that be a lesson.
I somehow forgot all about that one.
Yeah, that was Patrick Hockstetter was killed by Pennywise. And
isn't that the first time we see Pennywise besides the very beginning?
We saw him in the meat cooler really quick, his shadow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, because we're introduced
Speaking of meat coolers, this episode is sponsored by Tyson Chicken Nuggets.
We don't have sponsors.
What the heck? Why would...
I don't know. It was the first meat I thought of.
All right.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, no problem.
So again, Pennywise kills Patrick. Patrick's actually a lot worse in the book. They really dumbed him down in the movie.
I think they dumbed down Henry Bowers too.
Yeah, because those two were a lot worse in the book.
Well, how were they in the book?
Like Patrick,
I never read it.
Patrick thinks he's the only person that's real.
Oh.
And he killed his baby brother by smothering him.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't need to see that in the movie.
Yeah.
I have babies.
Is that like a thing caused by it, or is that just...
I think that's just how he is. But you would think Pennywise would use him instead of Henry, because Patrick was actually worse. But
that's life, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just pick the wrong one. I keep trying to make like wise life lessons.
Okay. So the bully gets killed by Pennywise.
Not Henry though, right?
No, Patrick.
No.
Henry and the other two are still alive.
Okay.
But they end up finding Ben because he like stumbles upon the group. And he's bleeding everywhere, so they take him to the pharmacy. So they start... Oh yeah, they stole supplies, I believe. Because they met Bev. They didn't have enough money to buy supplies to help him. But they met Bev Everly at the pharmacy. So
Beverly is like the only name I'll remember because
she's the
only girl.
So she distracted the pharmacist, who was very creepy.
Oh, she's like really seductive with him.
Yeah, and he's like, he returns the favor. And she's 12, and he's like old.
Elderly. Not elderly.
Elderly enough.
There's another bullying scene in this movie that makes me cringe when they dump the trash on Beverly in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, at the beginning.
And it's like a girl's bathroom too, so we can only imagine what's in that trash can.
Mm.
They dump on her head.
Yeah. The yucks. That's what's in there.
So at this point in the movie,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. When Ben was alone in the library, and I didn't even notice this because we don't see much of Pennywise yet. But if you look at the background, you see that librarian staring at him, and
Never noticed.
that's Pennywise. Like she's just creepily staring at him the whole time.
Yeah, there's quite a few like random Pennywise sightings in
Like I
the movie.
noticed after they got the supplies and left the pharmacy, I noticed like he's on the graffiti behind them in the alley.
Yeah.
Like his face is there. The librarian was creepy though,
Librarians are creepy
in general.
because who goes to the library?
Shout out to
Yeah.
Miss Marsha.
But this is
The goat.
She was mean.
I
she was
liked
never
her.
mean to me. But I did
Well,
hear
she was
that
nice
she was
to me. She was nice to me in my later years. I was scarred for life because she made me sit by myself at lunch one day. Because apparently I was acting out, but I don't think I was acting out.
Miss
That's-
Marsha, if you're listening, this episode is dedicated to you.
I love Miss Marsha.
I actually love her too. I liked her better. We got along in my final years of high school.
The bad thing is if no one went to if the people listening did not go to school with us, they don't know who Miss Marsha is.
Well, let me tell you, she's like the librarian.
An
and
elderly lady.
She's
We're not
like
gonna insult Miss Marsha and call her elderly.
she wasn't even elderly.
What? I thought she was. Who was the elderly one?
I don't know.
I don't think
There was-
neither one of them were elderly.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're thinking she was elderly.
I see elderly as gray hair, and neither one of them had gray hair.
Who the fuck am I
Shout
thinking
out
of?
to Miss Marsha.
I so wish she had gray hair. We thinking of the same librarian. I just
right.
went from I love Miss Marsha to who the fuck is she? I apologize.
All right, so
Okay, so Bill was at
Anyways.
home creating like a model of tubes and to like find out where Georgie's body might have went because they're just under the impression he got swept away into the drain.
yeah, he believes Georgie's still alive.
Which I don't think a little boy would survive in the sewer, but
Well, we're positive thinkers around here. Well, me and Sean are. So we're on Georgie's side. You could stay on Henry Bauer's side.
oh yeah, because I'm the one who believes that Meatball died,
Yeah.
even though she just hasn't answered her text messages.
How rude if she's not dead.
Shout out to Meatball.
The GOAT. Team America.
Meatball. Alive, we got a bone to pick with you for not answering. Making us think you're dead. What's the matter with you?
We're worried sick over here.
So Mike is at the butcher shop, and like one thing in the book, like it gets very racist compared to the movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad they kind of kept that stuff out of the movie.
They were gonna open the second movie with the racist cult setting the bar on fire, the black spot, but they changed.
Well, I think in the book that the child part takes place in like the 60s when
Yeah,
segregation was around and everything.
yeah,
And in this one, it's like 1990 or something.
1988 to be exact.
Oh yeah,
1989 because remember it was October when Georgie died. Now it's summertime.
Right.
Plot twist.
Yeah, it's June.
June 1989.
Yep.
so like there's like weird hands coming out of the door in the alley, I don't even know how to really describe that.
It's like burning hands. Like a bunch of people were stuck behind a door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this happened before, didn't it?
Before what?
Before we meet Ben and all that.
Yeah, I was just
That's
reading
all right.
through it a little bit.
We're just jumping around a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, we saw Pennywise briefly there because after the burning hands, the door opened, and we saw
Yeah,
him.
he sees Pennywise,
He was
and
like,
then Henry Bowers comes running, like his car comes driving through the alleyway.
Henry freaking Bowers. And I actually like
Right,
the
back on
actor.
track.
I actually like the actor in real life. Shout out to Nicholas Hamilton.
Shout out. If you're listening. He's not listening, but that's okay.
Maybe one day.
Okay, back on track. We'll pick up right after the pharmacy incident.
All right, so they were patching up Ben in the alley, and we saw that little drawing, not the drawing, the little mural, and we saw Pennywise face in the corner. It actually took me a couple watches through the movie to see that too.
Well, when you see the movie 95 times, catch on to everything. I only seen it 3 times.
I've seen it twice.
Well, you could watch the YouTube videos that show all of Pennywise's cameo appearances.
I could, but that would be cheating. So Beverly goes home.
And then we meet her father, who is also very creepy, just like the pharmacy, but he's like a different type of creepy.
But they're also the same kind of creepy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. He's very abusive too.
Yeah.
But he's. Oh yeah, we all also, if you see all the scenes with the parents throughout the movie, they're all watching that same TV show. It looks like a kids show, and they're talking about how the sewer is a nice place to play.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's the same show that they show later with Henry, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, Bev cuts her hair because she has some type of. And she just reaches a breaking point throughout the whole movie. This was one of those moments. She just cuts her hair. I think she feels like her dad. It's kind of like to go against her dad.
Doesn't he make a comment about her hair? How he likes her long hair or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said later on that her hair makes her look like a boy. Because after she got it cut, or after she cut it.
Well, maybe that's why she does it.
Yeah, they're at the quarry the next day, right?
Yes.
So we have everybody except Mike at the moment is in the group now.
Where is Mike?
They haven't met him yet because he's home. He's homeschooled.
I don't know why I didn't catch on to that.
Yeah, they don't meet him until probably almost halfway through the movie. But yeah, they're at the quarry, hanging out in the water. And I don't know.
Beverly shows up.
Yeah, I don't know if it is just because it's back then, but I would never jump that far into the water. I feel like I would die.
I probably would.
Well, that's a giant cliff. I feel like that would hurt.
It would, probably.
So yeah, they're swimming for a while, and they do a little shout out to the book where Bill says he sees a turtle.
Oh, shout out to an Easter egg referencing Pennywise's arch nemesis,
The turtle.
the turtle.
What?
Yeah, in the book, Pennywise's arch nemesis is like a giant turtle.
What the heck?
I don't even fully understand the like why it's a turtle and everything.
And that's probably why they didn't translate it to a movie, because it wouldn't work.
No, because technically the entity of it has been around since like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole turtle thing confused me. I never got to that part in the book, but I've heard like explanations of it, and it doesn't really make sense to me. I would have liked to see it translated to film, but I don't think it works very well.
No.
Or it would have worked very well.
Yeah, I'll have to read like at least those parts.
All right, so after they finish swimming, they're talking about the town's history with Ben, because he's been doing research, so he finds out all these weird things that are going on. Well, he takes them back to his house, and he has like a whole collage of all the weird things that have been going on since the town started.
That's awful.
Did we skip over the part where Eddie's walking home?
I believe that happens later.
Oh, okay. Continue.
I think that happens like right after they finish researching the town. So he has that collage, and he is explaining all the weird things that happen. They're all reading about it. And yeah, I think Eddie's walking home after that. And that's actually one of Pennywise's best appearances in the movie, I think.
I do too. Either that or the painting. No,
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is the projector scene, because that was like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So yeah, Eddie's walking home, and he walks past the giant abandoned house. It's on Neibolt Street. And I think the door pops open, and it almost lures him in, and he drops his prescription. His mom's a psychopath, by the way. We didn't talk about her yet.
And it's worse. It's worse in chapter 2. Not his mom, but it's worse because he marries a woman that's just like his mom. Like,
yeah, they got the same actress to play her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that was the same actress.
Because he's the only one that never left the town.
At least she looks better. I feel like his mom, they put her in an inflatable suit.
Well,
because it didn't look natural. No shade to her if that's not an inflatable suit. I apologize on air.
I'd also like to apologize to Miss Marsha for calling her elderly and thinking she had gray hair, not green. What the fuck?
What is this episode? Okay.
I know.
So Eddie drops his prescription, and then the leper, that's what it's called, right? A leper. It's like that. It's an actual person, but they have a disease, so they're like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very like, basically, well, he's a germaphobe, so lepers are very dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So of course Pennywise would turn into
germs.
Turn into that to scare him.
Right.
So he actually runs toward the house and runs into the backyard, and that's when we see. That's like the best shot of Pennywise that we get so far.
Oh, that classic scene of him with the red balloon.
Yeah, with the triangle. I think there's a whole bunch of balloons. Yeah, that was my favorite scene, or one of my favorite scenes. And like right after that, it flashes forward a little bit to nighttime, and then we get another view of Pennywise. This time he's at Bill's house, and he is using Georgie to lure him into the basement. And Bill's parents are very non-existent, like the whole movie.
Well, I think all the parents except for Eddie's are terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
Eddie's mother's terrible too, but at least she over cares about her son.
Yeah.
She makes up for the lack of care from the other
From
parents.
every parent in the movie.
I feel like in the 80s there was more like freedom though. That I feel like that was when like you just sent your kid to go play and they had to be home when the street lights shut off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
Didn't we have?
it's like a different. It's just a different time.
just a
Yeah.
different time.
Pennywise lures George. Oh my god. Pennywise lures Bill into the basement. He's pretending to be Georgie at this point. And this scene, I actually had a nightmare because of it. Well, Georgie keeps saying, "You'll float too," and then we see Pennywise pop up from because the basement's like flooded,
Mm-hmm.
and Pennywise's head pops out from the water, and he's like using Georgie as a puppet. And you see Pennywise's mouth move, but Georgie's saying, "You'll float too," and he's like rotting away. And then Pennywise like snatches him down into the water and then runs toward Bill. I had a dream that Pennywise chased me up the attic stairs, just like that scene.
Oh my god.
And I woke up so fast. And it was scary because the dream was in that room. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, they keep having these instances where they're seeing Pennywise separately.
And I think this is where the group meets Mike, correct?
Almost. Bev
Well,
has an
coming up, I
instant.
mean.
Yeah, Bev has an instance too because her bathroom sink was like the kids were talking to her from the drain. And then the whole
Yeah, she like hears voices from the drain in the sink.
yeah.
And this is where her dad makes the comment that she looks like a boy.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like the whole room's covered in blood because blood and like hair come out from the sink.
And only the kids can see it.
Yeah, her dad couldn't see all the blood at all. He was more worried about her hair.
Priorities, you know?
Hair over blood.
After this is when we meet Mike.
Yeah, you kind of get the
Yeah, they clean the bathroom. Oh yeah, we see the little love triangle forming too because Ben and Bill both like Beverly.
Yeah.
She's taking more of a liking to Bill at the moment.
You kind of get the scene of Henry Bowers being racist, even though he's a lot more racist in the book.
Yeah.
But he is kind of making fun of him for being a black kid.
Mm-hmm. And he's like,
oh yeah, I remember.
He's like
this is where they
forcing
get
him.
in. Yeah, this is where they get into the rock throwing fight.
Oh yeah, we saw a little glimpse of Pennywise during that scene too. Not the rock fight, right before it. Because
this movie, the scariest things in this movie are like the oddest things. Because like I'm creeped out about the trash can being dumped on Beverly, and the rock throwing because like I just imagine like a rock hitting me in the tooth.
well,
I'd be pissed.
if Pennywise was coming after you, he would take the form of a trash can or a rock.
Probably a rock coming at my tooth.
Or a trash can with tampons and pads.
Jeremy's biggest fear. Oh yeah, we saw.
This is when the whole group gets like their big bonding moment.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I like that little clip. Seconds before the rock war started, Pennywise is eating a hand, and he like waves at Mike with the hand.
Mm-hmm.
I like that little scene too.
And I think Richie is the only one who hasn't had a vision yet. But they ask him what he's afraid of, and he says he's afraid of clowns.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there's that creepy clown. I don't know if that was Pennywise on stage or not, because it points right at Richie, and he has like this evil look on his face.
Yeah,
This is after the Rock War when they go to the park.
I'm going to assume it was,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
because he's kind of like just creeping through the whole movie.
The next scene is the projector scene. That's
Yeah,
also here.
That whole scene.
big projectors are my fear.
I guess so.
That's what you said earlier.
You said you had nightmares from this.
No, I didn't. I said it scared me.
Oh.
I've never had a nightmare
Well,
about Pennywise.
Well, you're gonna about projectors.
Here's a fun fact. Speaking of nightmares, since I said that the director, well, I said at the beginning that I would like to see this director make Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Krueger was actually supposed to be in this movie.
Which would have been amazing.
Yeah,
Oh.
because one of the kids was supposed to be afraid of Freddy Krueger,
Oh.
and they were gonna put Freddy Krueger in the movie.
What a missed opportunity.
I just don't think they had that right.
Well, they better get it.
Because in the book, like one of them, I think, sees the Wolfman or something.
Yeah. But those
And I
fears
think
wouldn't have translated.
there's like a
over.
reference in the miniseries too, about like I think one of them sees a what's it called, like a horror movie character. But it would have made sense for a kid in the '80s to be afraid of Freddy Krueger, because that's when the movies were coming out.
Yeah, versus the Wolfman.
Yeah.
I don't think the Wolfman's scary, but that was before
Missed
our time.
opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But who would have? Some people would have been like, "Oh my God, there's a crossover."
Yeah, I think they would have got it. So yeah, the projector scene.
Yeah, they're in the garage.
And that
Or
was
not.
actually the kid's first time seeing Pennywise too.
Oh
But
goodness.
they didn't know what he looked. They didn't know what he
Oh,
looked like before that scene.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That makes it
Yeah,
all the more
you're
terrifying.
right.
Well, that makes it even more scary. That could have like real scare if they got it in the
Yeah.
first take.
Yeah, they said their reactions were genuine.
They did the same thing in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Like I think the first time Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace saw him was when he appeared at the door to break the door down. So they saw him in the window, and that was the first time. So you just come to attempted topics, and you just get filled with trivia.
Trivia knowledge.
That's
and
what
all
we're
types
about.
of stuff.
We're about trivia and knowledge.
Duh.
Ask me a question. It's time for trivia knowledge. Look, we got a game show.
A question about it.
Anything.
What is the human name that he goes by?
Can I have like multiple choice?
Okay. I can't even think of 3 fake names. All right. What is the name? Jeremy, you can edit that little part out. I think we have quite a bit of editing, but that's okay. All right.
Always.
What is Pennywise, the human name that Pennywise goes by? Is it A, Dan Lin? Is it B, Bob Gray? Is it C, Will Poulter? Or is it D, But wait,
Okay, it's not D because he's thinking of something, and it's
Yeah,
not
think
B
of it.
because it's not B because
A,
there
B,
was a
or
pause,
A,
and I
B, or
don't
C.
remember. I don't remember any of the names you just.
I said A, Dan Lin, B, Bob Gray, or C, Will Poulter.
A.
I'm gonna go with C.
All right, his name, the name he goes by is Bob Gray.
Aw. I'm the one that started the
How
trivia
did you?
game.
How do you both
Was
get it?
was wait that was B.
Yeah, Bob Gray.
No.
Oh, I didn't think it was before B, but you didn't
Yeah.
pause before C.
I feel like I did not
Alright.
pause. All right, so after the projector scene, Bill is just fed up. So he wants to storm to the house that Eddie was at earlier in the movie. Because they found out that's the well house, that's where Pennywise lives. So he wants to storm over there and confront him because he's tired of it. So everyone else is kind of reluctant to do so, but they end up doing it. I think Bill and Bev were the ones that were fighting to go the most.
Mm-hmm.
So they all go to the house. I think even though Bev was fighting to go, she doesn't even go in.
Yeah, Bill, Richie, and Eddie went in,
Yeah,
and then the others stayed out for lookout.
the OGs minus Stan because he stayed outside.
Yeah. And then Richie seen a missing poster of himself. Mm-hmm.
And they go upstairs. They get separated when they go upstairs.
Yep.
Eddie gets separated. I forget what he gets separated by.
Me neither, but Penny
I think,
found Eddie first.
yeah, I think he made like a wrong turn, or Bill and Richie went into a room. Because Eddie was in the hallway, he fell through the floor. There was a big giant hole in the floor. He fell over because Pennywise was back as the leper.
Mm-hmm.
So he like fainted. So then we go back to Richie and Bill. They get separated because Richie goes into a separate room and the door shuts. So he's in a room full of clown dolls. And one of the dolls actually looks like Pennywise from the miniseries.
More trivia with attempted topics.
A little fun fact. So he walks up to, there's this little coffin in the room, and there's like a Richie doll in it. And when he slams it shut, it pops right back open, and Pennywise comes out. I thought that's the only time they said "beep beep Richie" in the movie, even though it's supposed to be their catchphrase for Richie talks too much.
Yeah, I think so too.
And this
Yeah,
one they start.
Pennywise said it. So the door flat. He was able to open the door at the last second before Pennywise could get him. So they're like seeing a bunch of stuff. They saw those doors that said "not scary at all," scary and very scary.
Mm-hmm.
So they chose "not scary at all," and then they saw the girl with the girl with the shoe they found earlier in the sewer. They see her like hanging on the ceiling without her legs, and she's screaming. So I'd hate to see what very scary is. If that's not scary at all.
I feel like it was a trick, and they were all scary.
They were all very scary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because in the second one, remember they picked very scary because they knew what happened last time, and it was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're all fighting in in the house. And Pennywise is actually he comes out of that refrigerator. We go back downstairs to Eddie. His arm's broken. And that seems cringy because that looked real. Yeah, Pennywise comes out of the refrigerator. Bill and Richie come back downstairs just in time again. And then they all kind of fight Pennywise. The other ones come in that have been outside because they hear screaming. And then Ben gets cut again in the stomach.
I'm telling you, I feel bad for Ben in this movie.
Yeah, because
The
Bev stabbed Pennywise in the eye with something. And he like lunged at Ben and it cut him. So he got cut again. And Pennywise retreats into the basement and then into the well. And Bill tries to follow him, but none of the other ones want anything to do with him right now because they're just done.
Yeah. Then when they left, they got yelled at by Eddie's mom.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to hang
That
out.
would have been the worst part, having to take him home to her. I'd rather just stay with Pennywise.
Yeah, I would have just fed him the Pennywise.
Be like, he's gone.
So now fast forward to August.
They're all broke up temporarily.
Yeah. Eddie goes to the pharmacy to get his medicine, and the girl writes her on his cast.
And then she's the one that tells him that the medicine's actually fake and he doesn't even need it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a placebo. Oh, yeah, and Ben's back in the library. Little fun fact. He was looking at this painting. It was this woman standing by the well with her baby. We're supposed to actually see a scene of that. It was like set in the 1700s, and it was supposed to be a scene of Pennywise making a deal with her that if he would kill her and her whole family, all her kids, or she could give him the baby to eat, and he would leave her alone and not kill her family. And he was like almost human, but he's like all red. There's like a screenshot of it online. So she gave him the baby. I believe she puts the baby on the ground and like leaves. I don't know if they actually show him eating the baby or not. But they were supposed to put that in both movies, but they cut the scene both times.
Okay.
So everybody is separated at the time. We see Henry again. They're about to shoot a cat. Him and his group. His friend didn't want to do it, but he like almost made him. And we find out Henry's dad is abusive. Also, he's another trashy parent. And Henry actually kills him. That's when we see that TV show the adults in the movie throughout the movie keep watching.
Yeah, and then he gets the red balloon on the mailbox and the knife.
Yeah.
And
Give his
then
knife back that he lost earlier. It's also implied that he killed his friends too.
Is it?
Because he ends up with his friend's car later on, and he had blood all over him. And then in the deleted scene on the movie, or on the Blu-ray, they actually show his friend's dead in the back seat.
Oh. Wow. Well, the more you know.
So yeah, Henry's completely lost it at this point. Bev has an incident with her dad. Again. She finally confronts him. She hit him with the toilet lid. And I don't think he died because, well, in the second movie, she goes back to that house. But this is when they get back together because Pennywise abducts her and takes her into the sewer. So the gang is all back together. They go back to the abandoned house again.
They all went back to the house and they climbed down a rope.
And Henry followed them and tried to attack them. Well, he targets Mike. Because Mike was the last one to go down. So he was trying to kill Mike. Mike pushed him down the sewer. Or down the well. And that's the last we see of Henry in the movie.
Spoiler alert, he's not dead
Rest
from this movie.
He might as well have been. Because they didn't really do much with him in the second one.
I thought he killed people.
I don't think he killed anybody. I think he just attacked them like twice.
Yeah, he attacks and he doesn't really do much at all in the second one.
Yeah, his corpse friend was driving the car.
Oh yeah.
Patrick.
They go down. And Stan gets attacked by Pennywise.
That creepy
the woman,
image.
Yeah. The creepy girl. And then
the actor that played that girl, he's in all these types of scary movies because he is he's tall and really skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So they could put makeup and stuff on him, make him look scary. I think he was in The Conjuring 2. He played the Crooked Man, and he just plays a bunch of roles like that. He plays ghosts. He was in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay, so we're in Its Lair right now.
Yeah, and then all the kids start floating up. They find Bev.
All of his victims are floating.
Ben kisses Bev. And,
that scene was awkward. Because he just pulled her down and he was screaming, "Why won't she wake up?" And he just kissed her.
Yeah, how weird.
It's oh, okay.
That's one way to do
this isn't sleeping. We're in a sewer.
Well, apparently it is because she woke up.
Yeah.
And that's when she finds out that he wrote the poem for her.
Oh,
Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Does anybody remember what the poem said?
No.
No.
All right. Your hair is winter fire, January ember. My heart burns there too.
Why would he even write a poem like that?
He was a kid.
He writes poetry. Really touches the soul if you think about.
It does. I hope I didn't butcher that. I apologize to Ben if I butchered his poem.
Ben, forgive. Okay, moving on.
Then Bill sees Georgie. And Georgie tells Bill he missed him and he was waiting for him to come.
And let me tell you, when I first saw that scene, I was shook.
Yeah.
Because he shot Georgie. And I was like, did he just kill his real brother? He's not moving.
But it was not him.
But plot twist.
Yeah, it was not him.
I was shook.
And he turns into Pennywise. And the clown tries to kill all the children. Oh, you sure does.
Is that your Pennywise impression?
It was a basic clown line. Yep, there it is. Good job.
That sounded like banjo.
Shout out to Banjo and Kazooie.
What a good game.
So yeah, they're all fighting Pennywise. They finally come over their fear, all 7 of them.
And somehow beating the crap out of him just works.
I think it's because they ended up, they were losing their fear of him by this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because he He should have took different forms.
That's the one thing I don't like about
Both
the
endings.
ending of any It movie is that he's always defeated in a stupid way.
Especially the second one. Well, I don't think
Yeah,
I like
they-
how
We'll get in.
the miniseries ended either.
We'll get into the second one eventually, but for some reason, calling him a stupid clown defeats him.
I forgot
Poor
about
Pennywise.
that. Hurting his feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't they
they're-
know?
So they're just not afraid of him anymore, and he retreats
Shouldn't
into
they
the
know?
sewer.
They should know not to bully.
They should
Yeah.
because they're getting bullied. They know how
Yeah.
it feels.
So yeah,
He has a low self-esteem, and he's taking it out.
Right.
See, we're humanizing a clown that came to Earth like millions of years ago. That's what we do here.
An entity that that doesn't even make sense or have feelings.
Now maybe
sure
he
he
really
has
does
some.
deep down.
So the difference between the ending of this compared to the book is that they in this one they do like the blood oath where they all cut their hands.
And let me say that was cringy because he cut them deep.
I know.
You
But
could.
it would have been a lot more cringy if they would have done what they did in the book.
See, I didn't get that far in the book.
Yeah, what'd they do?
Give us a
They
factoid.
all do it in the sewer.
Oh, okay.
Like they all have their way with Beverly.
Well, that's an odd way to
Have an oath.
do an oath.
Yeah, to run a train.
In the sewer.
In 27 years, we have to meet back up. So, in order to ensure that we'll all meet back up, let's run a train.
But yeah, they have that blood oath. And they could have just like had a small cut, but he like dug into them.
They could have pinky promised. They're kids.
Well, yeah, they didn't really have to do a blood oath either.
They didn't need to.
Yeah, because if one of the kids has hepatitis,
But now everyone has it. Thanks a lot.
whoever they held hands with now has hepatitis.
Like, thanks a lot, Stan. Now we all have hepatitis.
Again, it's the 80s.
Oh yeah, there was an AIDS epidemic back then, wasn't there?
I believe so.
And they're out here doing that?
It was the 80s. Hepatitis was running wild.
You know what else was running wild? Hulkamania, brother.
He probably was.
1988, he was definitely running wild.
Why didn't Pennywise take the form of Hulk Hogan?
Hulk
I
Hogan
don't think they-
should have just whooped Pennywise's ass.
Well, they weren't afraid
Tommy
of Hulk
Playground.
Hogan.
What?
Honestly,
No
Pennywise.
child was afraid of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, they should have called him to beat the fuck
Imagine-
out of Pennywise.
Imagine just having like a stupid fear, and then Pennywise has to take the form of that. Like you're afraid of Hulk
All right.
Hogan. Imagine
Hear me out.
Pennywise just taking the form of Hulk Hogan and attacking you.
Hear me out. The movie is exactly the same as the way it is, but except when the kids decide they're all gonna go back to the sewer and fight Pennywise, they just call Hulk Hogan.
he puts on
Yeah, they just
he puts
call
on
him.
he puts on the wrestling trunks and everything.
I think
And he goes down to the has the old atomic leg drop.
Pennywise could take Hulk Hogan.
I don't know, maybe nowadays. 1989 though.
Yeah, you're underestimating the abilities of Hulkamania.
I don't know. Pennywise is pretty serious. Though we don't really see him targeting adults that much. So really,
Yeah,
it's a fair
correct.
fight.
That's why I think the first one is so much scarier than the second one.
He did target the adult at the beginning of chapter 2.
Yeah,
That scene was
I think the
uncomfortable.
I think the first one is a lot more scary because it's like innocent kids dealing with it.
Yeah. Although shout out to those scenes, the funhouse scene, the bleacher scene, and the Miss Curse scene, and the Bob Gray scene.
Shut up.
All right, guys. That was it. Chapter 1.
Probably one of my favorite horror movies of this decade, or not this decade, but last decade.
I think it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And Pennywise is definitely my favorite. Well, one of my favorite horror movie icons.
Shout out to Pennywise.
Shout out him. So, I remember this. At the end of the episode, we all have recommendations.
We do.
Oh, I was going to say, what form would Pennywise take for each of you?
Oh,
A spider.
oh yeah.
A
Or a
giant
dentist.
spider. A spider or a dentist?
Yeah, a fucking dentist, dude. I hate the dentist.
Well, apparently he would take the form of a shark for me.
I don't think I'd be scared of sharks if I came face to face with one, but I'm not scared of getting in the ocean because of sharks or anything.
I think about it. Well, I was never in the ocean, but if I was, I would be thinking about it.
Yeah, I
Shark-
did it
shark
first,
movie.
but once you start having a good time, you kind of
I don't think I have any fears of particular things he would be
I
able to
have a
manifest.
fear of needles. So if you
Yeah.
put a dentist with a needle in front of me, ooh, I'm fighting.
What? See, I have a fear of being set on fire or drowning,
Oh yeah, drowning too.
and claustrophobia.
But see, my fight or flight reaction is to fight.
So,
So if Pennywise took the form of a dentist and started running at me, I don't think I would turn around and run. I think I would punch him in the face, and then he'd probably kill me. But
yeah, he'd probably. So he would take the form of a dentist for you, a spider for Jeremy, and I would be in an enclosed space, and I would be on fire or drowning.
he would just show you in a box of water, trying to get out.
I mean,
And then when you got out, gasoline would fall on you, and you would be lit.
All right,
sounds
Sean.
like a grand old day.
We have a surprise for our listeners.
Oh, do we?
Sean is going to sing us the theme song for our weekly recommendations.
What?
What?
It's time to recommend some things you and me were recommending. Yeah.
Recommend.
Thing. All right. My weekly recommendation is an album. It is by former New York Knick and Cleveland Cavalier, among other teams, Amon Shumpert. In 2018, he released an album called Substance Abuse. It's a couple years old, but I highly recommend it. It's a rap album, little bit of R&B. Very underrated artist. So yeah, Amon Shumpert. It's called Substance Abuse.
The basketball player?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it a listen, but I will say I'm not usually a fan of when NBA players try and do that.
Well, the thing is, he's not really an NBA player, so he has time to focus on music too.
Side note, Leo Rush is also a rapper.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that. That sounds familiar at least.
And he focuses a lot more on music nowadays also than being an athlete. I don't know how I feel about it because every time I see him, I just picture Leo Rush on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked him.
All right,
I liked him too. But
Sean.
like, okay. My recommendation is underwear, but not just any underwear. Ethica underwear. You see, this underwear costs about $15 to $25 per pair. But let me tell you, this is the comfiest stuff I've ever put on my junk.
Well, I'm in the market for new underwear, so
Always.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link to the group message. They're ridiculously comfy, and yeah, I don't know. They're really soft and such. They're expensive, but it's definitely worth it. I got them because I have a problem of my underwear ripping in the washer, in the dryer for some reason.
you
So
hear that? Well, is it Ethica you said?
yeah, EHIKA. A
So
lot
if
of
you
like
guys are listening, feel free to throw us some cash and we'll sponsor us.
also there's like styles of them. Don't get the you probably wear boxer briefs because that's what I usually wear. I'm
Yeah.
just assuming, but get the staple. They're like boxer briefs, like tight like boxer briefs, but they're a little longer, like regular boxers. But trust me, they don't like ride up like boxers do because they're tight.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
All right, Steven, what is your recommendation?
First, I'm gonna recommend Chilling Adventures of Sabrina since they canceled that.
Oh, they canceled it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're releasing the final season later this year. I'm upset.
Yeah,
Everyone,
I did read that it got canceled.
Steven
everyone should,
recommends one of the most watched shows on Netflix.
everyone should, everyone should watch it. I feel like it's not the most watched show. And while you're at it, why don't you go listen to Taylor Swift's brand new album, Folklore. Folklore, that just came out today.
You say that as if that's not going to be number one for the week on all streaming services.
Well, you guys aren't going to listen to
That just
it.
means Steven's ahead of the game,
Yeah,
and we could say we told people to watch it first.
because Taylor Swift and Sabrina are both brilliant.
I don't know about that, but
Brilliant.
Okay, that was episode 4 of Attempted Topics. In 2 weeks, we will cover. Steven, what are we covering?
We're going to cover the Detroit Become Human.
Sure.
I'm
we're
currently in
switching
the
it up this time.
middle of my gameplay, and I'm stressed.
I played it already. I beat it, but I have my girlfriend playing. She's probably about 40% of the way through, and it's starting to get stressful.
My favorite
I beat
character
it
almost died
2
last
years
night.
ago. I paid $60 for that game, and I don't think it was worth $60. But I think it's worth $30.
I think it's worth. Well, I got the deluxe edition, but I bought it on Black Friday.
I paid $20 like 2 weeks ago.
But yeah, I like choice games.
Me too.
That one might, depending on how mine ends, it might be my favorite one, besides The Walking Dead, of course.
It probably is one of my favorite choice ones. Up with, it reminds me a lot of Until Dawn, which is one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I like that too. And Life is Strange.
Oh, I forgot about that. Still haven't played 2. I need
I
to.
have 2 and Before the Storm, but I haven't played either one yet.
I feel like Life is Strange is a stay tuned.
It is a stay tuned. I'll play that again in a heartbeat.
Shout out to Warren. Let's go.
Going ape.
Going ape.
Steven,
Okay.
the Easter eggs tonight all over the place.
I know. All right. Follow us on Instagram at Attempted Topic. From there, you will find our personal Instagrams.
At _ meet me in space.
Feel free to follow us.
Iron from Ice.
Iron from Ice.
Iron from ice. The
I would
North Grove shall not be lost.
I would like to end this episode with a quote from the great Michael Scott.
The greatest.
Make friends first. Make sales second. Make love third. In no particular order.
Brilliant.
I can't. I'm speechless.
Chills sent through my spine.
Until next time.
Sent through my spine and various other places.
Oh, okay. from a quote.
All right. Until next time, everybody, stay safe. Wear your masks.
So long, farewell, goodbye, my friend. I'll see you again 2 Sundays from now. Goodbye.